Welcome back, class, to another episode of Trump Whisperer, translating stupid. Today we have a special show for you. It's a master class in dumbassery. One Donald Jailbird Trump wants to tell you how he thinks intellect is gained. Yeah, listen to his theory, and we'll be right back. Oh, by the way, don't forget to put on your imaginary stupid goggles. This was a doozy.
A very short period of time. So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart.
Did you hear what I just heard? This galactic spastic space cadet thinks that you can literally get your intellect through DNA of a family member. What the fuck? You mean to tell me if one of my cousins just happened to be Michael Jordan, somehow, some way, I have a basketball intellect just as much as he does, and I can put it on my resume? Can I get a Nike commercial too, you dipshit? I don't think so. That ain't how that works. Just to say that, we know you remedial. Go put your damn helmet back on, bruh. This motherfucker is stupid. I mean, dumb. And anybody waiting in the hot-ass sun to listen to this dipshit speak, and he talks about everything under the sun except for what he's gonna do for you. This dipshit literally said he don't care about the people in the audience. And then once he realized he said it in public, he tried to say that the media is gonna try and twist that. How do you twist, I don't give a fuck about you? Say what?
By the way, isn't that breeze nice? Do you feel the breeze? Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care. See, now the press will take that and they'll say he said a horrible thing.
And then this dipshit goes even further because his teleprompters went off. He went and told you, I don't pay people on the regular.
Tell him to make the microphone louder. It's terrible. Yeah. He just came up. Are the teleprompters not working? So not even a little bit. Great job. And then I don't pay the company that does it, right? And then I end up with a story Trump doesn't pay. I don't pay contractors that do a shitty job. And that's a shitty job. That's a shitty job. You can't read a word. But you know what? It usually ends up that the speech is better. It's crazy. Then they'll say, oh, isn't it terrible? Trump takes advantage of his No, I take great. When I have a good contractor or a subcontractor, nobody gets paid faster. But when I have contractors that do this kind of work, you can have them.
Well, dipshit Don, I got a question for you. Weren't you the one that made fun of President Obama reading from a teleprompter? Hillary Clinton reading from a teleprompter? President Biden reading from a teleprompter? And they were somehow weak because you didn't need a teleprompter? And now you bitching about not having a teleprompter. Is that because you've gotten older and lost a few steps? Or were you always needing one and just made it an issue? Because every time you spoke, you had them, didn't you? Yes, you did. So this is a tell. You always needed them, but you made it an issue so that people thought that you were stronger, smarter, and more intact than everybody else. And you was this go-getter, this rebel. But in reality, you can't read worth a damn. So you rather go off of bullet points because you can't remember shit. We understand that now because you went off topic for a long fucking time because your teleprompters died. You couldn't stay on topic. What was the next topic you were supposed to talk about? Shark Week? I mean, what the fuck? This man goes on a diatribe that can only be described as batshit crazy. Don't believe me? You know Mr. Straight Facts brought his receipts. Let's hear dipshit speak.
He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight?
Holy senile implant. This fool is in the middle of the desert, 110 degrees. His audience is sweating to death. They out here peeing on each other so they don't overheat. And this man's got an analogy of a boat, ocean, sharks, a girl being bitten by a shark. The guy explaining that sharks weren't trying to eat her, they just didn't know what she was, calling them crazy. Then go into his analogy that he thinks he's smart. He's literally said in the past, his family's like racehorses. He's a thoroughbred. And seeing as how his uncle was smart, he is too. Yeah, that's a true story.
All men are created equal. Well, it's not true. Because some are smart, some aren't.
The family subscribes to a racehorse theory of human development.
When you connect two racehorses, you usually end up with a fast horse. Secretariat doesn't produce slow horses.
They believe that there are superior people, and that if you put together the genes of a superior woman and a superior man, you get a superior offspring.
You have to have the right genes.
I have a certain gene. I'm a gene believer.
Do we believe in the gene thing? I mean, I do.
I have great genes and all that stuff, which I'm a believer in.
So he goes on to tell you about this boat sinking with a super battery in it and sharks so far away. And he says he would stand on top of the boat instead of getting eaten by sharks. He'd rather be shocked to death, electrocution.
And you're in the boat, and you have this tremendously powerful battery, and the battery's now underwater, and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too. A lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, you know, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time.
Could somebody please tell this dipshit that if he stands on top of the boat's gonna sink? Haven't you heard of Titanic? That bitch ain't floating nowhere. It's at the bottom of the ocean. So would you, until you got bloated enough to float back to the top. You ever have a child at that young age when they ask stupid ass questions, but you try to act like they smart because you don't want to hurt their feelings and you don't want to deter their growth? That's what Donald Trump is. A 77-year-old dumbass kid that you trying to tell him that he's smart just so that you don't make him feel like there is no hope that a brain cell will develop well enough for this motherfucker to have intellect. He literally thinks that he could stand on top of a fucking boat with a super battery in it and that the shark won't get electrocuted, that it's going to try and eat him. But once it sinks, he'll be electrocuted. He never once thought if there's enough current to shock you to death, the shark dying too, because they're not shock-proof. Somebody please tell me that Donald Trump running for president is a joke. We're being pranked. You can't be serious. This Nimrod just gave a scenario that a 4-year-old would laugh at. And you want this man to be back in office with people who will not check him or protect us from his stupidity. Just say you hate America. Stop faking it. You just hate America and you want to destroy it. And therefore you want to put the nuclear bomb called Donald Trump in place to blow this bitch up. Because there is no way in hell that you listen to that man at a rally nonetheless. That's supposed to be about our ideals of making America great again. He's talking about a scenario that a dumbass would never ask. And then try to say it is a smart idea. Even though the person he asked this question was the smart person that said, nobody's ever asked me that question before. And he took that as a compliment instead of saying, that was a dipshit question. I never met anybody as dumb as you. But carry on. Carry on. Now take off your imaginary stupid goggles before you shit yourself. Let's continue.